And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
I'm a little upset. I'm going to let you guys know right now, I did not get nominated for an Oscar as much as I tried. I did the best three-way scene. I did a Euphrasia scene. I did, oh wait, wrong awards. Never mind.
Wrong show.
Yeah. But when those awards come up, you damn well better bet I'll be in the three-way scene, the pooping scene, the peeing scene. Hell, I might let them tie my dick in a knot and call me Charlie. All right, I don't want to kill Lynch. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say, guys, grab your drink, put your feet up, and say to yourself, with all the zen in the world, welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Goose Fabra.
Is that like Yiddish for fuck yeah?
Goose Fabra. I don't know. That's what
It's from that movie.
That's what those fucking yogurt bitches say. Goose Fabra.
Wasn't that from that silly ass movie with Happy Gilmore and Jack Nicholson?
Yeah, maybe. Anger management.
Yeah, goose feathers or whatever the fuck he says.
Goose nipples.
Goose nipples. I'll take it. All right. So my name is Chris Burns. With me, as always, the Poopenheimer himself,
Chris Lynch, the
producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair. And I'm not sure you want to call yourself the Puff Daddy of podcasts unless you have allegations coming out the wazoo. It's Big Herm, Michael P.S. Herman.
Well, no, it's I'm the Puff Daddy of podcasts. I'm the producer, but I'm also on the album.
Ooh, and you're in the video too. And if you want a producer that's not all up in your podcast and not all up in your video, come to Death Row. It has been a week, ladies and gentlemen, and I know one of you brought it up. I've got a small rant I'm going to make to all the I don't even want to call them pink hats. I don't know what you would call them other than soft-handed, titty-sensitive children of privilege out there who cried the blues for weeks, and then the Academy Awards finally come, and they cried the blues before, during, and after the Academy Awards that Barbie didn't get enough recognition, and it's so terrible. Why didn't Greta Gerwig get nominated? Why didn't Margot Robbie get nominated? First things first. My whole lifetime, I love the Oscars, with the exception of the last 4 or 5 years. It's for the best of the best. First reason Barbie doesn't get nominated, in my opinion, and I'm speaking as a 51-year-old man who did watch the film. Full disclosure, you guys know this. It's a movie about a fucking girl's toy. Second, it was a 2-hour shot at men, or as Herm likes to call it, guys ain't shit movement.
Well, I mean, so was all the G.I. Joe movies and the Ninja Turtles movies.
It was fuck guys?
It's a toy.
How many nominations did those films get?
Not a whole hell of a lot.
No, you're going to get maybe like a soundtrack or special effects. Big deal.
Right, but I mean, here's my thing. All right, the Academy Awards are for excellence in their field, okay? Greta Gerwig's movie was not, while it may have been inspirational to some, it wasn't some new concept or new twist on an old thing. There was a lot of bashing in it. It was a very almost fucked up feminist political message movie, but also was, my wife said it best. Margot Robbie's performance was Harley Quinn without the psychosis.
Oh, good call. Good call, Jennifer. Good call.
It was Jane from Tarzan without the refinement. It was every other role without the one specific characteristic that the role was. It was just, she just had to be pretty and say her lines. There was no stretch of character.
There's no depth either.
All right. Now,
I like how my rant turned into his rant, but I like where he's going.
And I'm sorry, I hijacked your shit.
What else is new? I'm all for it. I'm listening.
I have stuff to say too. So
here we go.
I don't know if anybody's ever watched Ken do any other movies that he's been in.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few of his films.
But he usually plays some slick womanizer, a half a criminal, some sort of policeman-y, investigative-y, something or other.
I saw him as a rugged cowboy once. What was
Right.
that shitty movie that women like?
Yeah, it's still a much better performance than Robbie gave in Barbie. Again, a stretch. The performance he gave for the character he had was was kind of a stretch for his normal acting genre. It's kind of like asking The Rock to do like a rom-com. It doesn't necessarily work because he's an action guy. You know what I mean? That would be a stretch for him to do, like for The Rock to do The Notebook would be a stretch.
That's the one. That's the one. Thank you, Ryan Gosling.
The Notebook. I loved The Notebook. Great story.
Jesus, look at the time. I gotta go.
No. That's all I'm going to say. That, but I felt
a great
that
story.
Performance as Ken was more of a stretch for him to pull off just being this doofy idiot and actually make us believe he's a doofy idiot, because we all kind of know he's not. So I think his character was more of a stretch for him than Robbie's character was for her.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you, Herm. I think he was much more out of his wheelhouse on as far as his performance goes. Margot Robbie basically sat there and read the script. That's it. She read the script on being filmed. Read the script. She's a fantastic actress, but there's nothing groundbreaking or provocative or new in that film or in her performance.
No, everybody wanted it to win because of the message.
Okay, so
I
am of the firm belief.
I believe that most of the fan base thought the message was a little fucked up.
And I think that an overwhelming percentage of the people who watched the movie, I'm not going to say fans, people who watched the movie thought that the message was fucked up. And
correct.
That to me tells me exactly what the temperature is in Hollywood, because don't forget, the Oscars are made, the Academy is made up of people in Hollywood. So for them not to fly the flag of "Let's Go Barbie," kind of tells me that they're hiding their true feelings behind what they're supposedly standing for. You also notice that nobody used it as a political platform, with the exception of one person, which was
one person, two jokes. Yeah.
No, one person in an acceptance speech, the short film or the live action documentary film, whatever. He talked about Hamas and Israel. That's it. But his basic story was, let's just get peace, one way or another.
Right. But I got to be honest. I'll accept that from a documentary maker. A documentary maker does so for a reason. It's not just my artistic ability. Most documentaries are trying to get a point across from what the person making the documentary sees or believes. And we all know that documentaries can be two documentaries on the same person done by two different directors, and it shoots it in
polar opposite,
different light. The optics change completely. All right. But that's the job of a documentary. Unlike a movie, which is supposed to make you check out, a documentary is supposed to pull you in and make you care about whatever it is that they're trying to get across.
Right. All right, Chris, go back to your original point. I said
Oh,
what I had
hi.
to say.
Hi,
I
how
said what
are
I had
you?
to say, but I got more to say. I got more to say about the Oscars, and from a different point of view.
When it comes to, I don't even want to look. Greta Gerwig, you directed this film, fantastic. I'll start with Greta Gerwig. Is anybody going to remember Barbie in the same way we look at The Godfather, Gone with the Wind, The Color Purple? I'm
No,
just
because
in my head. Oppenheimer. Hi, Terry, in the comment section.
Those movies were all forward thinking. The Godfather was a movie that was finally made true to that life.
Mhm.
It was not it's a copper, see? It's not an old 30s James Cagney movie.
It
All
wasn't
right.
Would I turn on the gas if my buddy Rocky was in?
If my buddy Rocky was in it, you might, Robert.
You might.
All right.
It wasn't a parody.
Caricatures in the of what gangsters were at the time. All
Mhm.
right. What we saw in Scarface and what we saw in Goodfellas and what we saw in The Godfather was these were all people based on real.
Okay, let's get off the gangster tip. Just going to Oppenheimer, a film I did see and was phenomenal. Christopher Nolan, if you gave Christopher Nolan the phone book and next to it a joke book about farts, that man's going to make an epic fucking film.
His movie, while having a message, didn't cram the message down your throat.
It was subtle.
He made his movie and he let you kind of pull the thread out of the sweater. And
this 13 minutes in, I haven't finished my point yet. I love you guys. This is great. No, I love it.
This is what we do.
I know. Look, Greta Gerwig, you directed a film. Great. Does it mean you automatically should get a nomination? No, because it was a 2-hour fuck man festival until, Ken comes in with his toxic masculinity. We're not going to have that conversation here and now. If you want to give Margot Robbie an Oscar nomination, you should have done it in 2013 when this Australian girl played a girl from Bayshore, Queens in The Wolf of Wall Street. You could have given her a nomination for Harley Quinn. You could and should have. She got nominated by the Academy, but she didn't win. She did win the Golden Globe for this, was her portrayal of Tonya Harding in I, Tonya. Just because you played Barbie and this feminazi bullshit was spewed onto the screen for 2 hours doesn't mean you get a nomination. Fuck. I'm just going to find the next children's toy I walk into Walmart and see it. I'm going to make a movie about it. I'm going to cram toxic masculinity, whatever the fuck that means, because it's not true, down the throats, and I'm going to make a movie about it. There isn't. You can be a toxic or you can be a non-toxic person.
There actually is. It actually is a thing. And
mostly in the prison system. I shared that video.
That's kind of where that whole thing came from. It came from a way to describe a set of behaviors within dealing amongst inmates from a study, and it was this toxic masculinity. It was like overkill of all of that shit, and it somehow managed to seep its way in. And
again, mainstream.
Everything else, like woke, and everything else that the white folks steal, because we do it well. That topic was worked in and then given an extreme and applied to people that it never should have. But it is a real thing, but only within that subset, only within that study, only within that world particularly.
Yeah, and
it's not an actual thing. It was literally a phrase because they had no other way to describe it.
Right.
It was appropriated by the mainstream psychologists and stuff in the 90s. That's what happened.
At the end of the day, if Barbie was that good a movie, it should have been nominated 600 times. It just clearly wasn't that good a movie. But we here at Dysfunction Junction, and me speaking alone, the guys may agree with me. Greta and Margot. I mean, any movie Margot Robbie's in, I'm going to watch. Why? Because I get to stare at her for 2 hours. But
Yeah, I mean,
Greta, go ahead, please.
I pretty much loved Margot Robbie and pretty much anything she's done.
Mhm.
Whatever that fucked up one was what was Leonardo? Who was it? She was in the one.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, there was another one like last year, The Roses, and what the fuck was it?
Oh, Killers of the Rose Moon or some bullshit like that.
No, it was the one about Hollywood and shit.
Yes.
Oh Christ, Herm fucked it up for everybody. I am going to give them an award right now, and I'm going to hit this little button right here. Greta, Margot, if you want an award, here it comes.
I don't hear anything.
Babylon.
Babylon. Movie. Yeah, I didn't hear anything, Chris.
Really?
No.
No, the mic on. The mic on your headset's too.
Try it now.
There you go.
Okay, hold on. Let me get to the money shot. No?
I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it. That's the face. There we go. We're good.
That's what they get. That's what they deserve. And anybody who says differently can fuck off. Barbie was not that good of a movie. But then again, I'm looking at it, and I told you about the kid who said, well, if you don't like Barbie, you're just some MAGA hat wearing misogynistic. Like, no, I'm a 51-year-old man who doesn't give a fuck about Barbie. I still watch the film, though. What does Barbie add to, like, when people ask me what are the 10 best movies you've seen, I'll list them off and they go, oh wow, those are some really good movies. Do you think I'm going to throw Barbie in that top 10?
No, but I've had movies surprise me before.
Sure.
Barbie did not.
Barbie isn't one of them.
Yeah,
one of the movies that is always, I'm not a fan of it, but it was a well-made, fantastic film. It was a romantic comedy. I think Herm and myself and 2 dates went and saw this movie back in high school. I'm not quite sure if it was Herm or somebody else. Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Fantastic fucking movie. Am I going to watch it every time it's on? No. Do I actively go out of my way to see it? No. But no. I can admit out loud, having seen it maybe 4 times in my life, that it's a fantastic movie. Now, if you ask me, what do you think of Goodfellas? I watch Goodfellas at least once every 2 months, whether I want to or not, because it's just, I love it.
If it comes across the channel guide.
Pretty Woman is one of Megan's
wherever it is
one of Megan's favorite movies. So if she stops to watch it, I'm not going to complain because I enjoy it. I liked Richard Gere in that. I like Julia Roberts, and that's one of the few films that I actually enjoy Julia Roberts in. Otherwise, I find her pretty fucking annoying.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't particularly care for the girl who played her girlfriend, Laura San Giacomo.
I actually like her.
I don't know. Some of her later stuff, like that show Just Shoot Me, I couldn't stand her in that.
Laura San Giacomo was Fran Drescher light before Fran Drescher was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And she was cuter than Fran Drescher. So you see this girl and you're like, oh, she's hot. Yeah, she's got that Brooklyn thing going on.
See, I see it flip-flopped. I think Fran Drescher was way, way cuter.
I think you're high. I think you're higher than a kite right now.
Well, I probably am because, this is the magic drops. But, no. Yeah, anyway.
Either one of those two was attractive.
What?
They're not I'm not saying they're beautiful.
Mm-mm.
They're not violently unattractive.
Laura San Giacomo could eat crackers in bed and I would not kick her out. Fran Drescher, I would kick her out the minute she walked through the door and said, hi.
Well, her voice is what does it for me. Just
right. And because the voice ruins it. I think if I saw her without hearing her voice, I might think that's a good looking lady.
Yeah. Yeah. So back to the Oscars,
please,
for a few moments. Do you guys happen to see the bit with John Cena?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right.
It was funny as hell. I ain't gonna lie.
It was very funny.
It made an excellent point.
It was very funny. and Herm already knows what my point is on this. Why is that okay? What if it were Sydney Sweeney in the exact same way, dressed in the exact same way, bare titties and all, with a postcard over her pussy?
Well,
what would happen? What would have happened?
First of all, you couldn't have had her bare titties.
Correct.
And it would have been the exact same.
Why? Why is that unacceptable?
Because on TV, it's not allowed.
The male chest here in America, he's right. The male chest. Look, dude, tune into Monday or Friday night and watch where John Cena comes from, and there's hardly any dudes wearing shirts. It's all big, beefy guys with no shirts on, throwing each other around, pretending to fight in their draws.
My entire point of that statement is we can be objectified till the cows come home, twice on Sundays, 4 times on a holiday. But the minute
I have an answer for that.
But the minute we say, "Wow, she's hot,"
no, I don't think that was an objectification. We all know John. They probably pitched it.
Oh, he was all for it. You know he was
all in. All right. Also, look, as the guy running the show, if I got to have somebody do that bit, I want about the most perfect male fucking body I can wrap a skin fucking colored condom sock over to do the fucking scene. If it's going to be done, we're going to do it tight, boys and girls.
Why not John? You know, because I'll ask this question going to Herm's point.
Has already admitted he doesn't care about doing nude scenes. He hasn't cared about any. He doesn't care. He's not shy for anything. So I'm sure they came to him and like, yo, we have an idea. Are you in? You're like the perfect body to do it. Like to show all of your body. There it is. I don't think it was an objectification. I think John Cena was the perfect subject for that moment of art expression to explain how important a fucking costume is.
Now, I want to see if Herm and I used to have this thing that we used to try to do to each other back in the day. When you say the most fucked up thing, picture in your mind, it's called the full body shiver. I want to see if I can get Lynch to do it. Would you rather have John Cena do that bit or Danny DeVito?
I think it would have been funnier with Danny DeVito.
Oh, see, he's high. He's got
no. I looked at.
It would have been funnier. It might have been funnier, but it wouldn't have been a better demonstration. It was about once again, it was about film and the picture, and it was about everything being picture perfect with nothing there. And it still made the point of how important costumes were.
Right, and same can be said for Danny DeVito about how he looks.
Right, but we all know
how important it is that he be costumed correctly to look perfect. You can look at it from both sides of the coin. You can have a guy like John Cena or an average guy like me or a big fatty like fucking Danny DeVito go out there half nude. The funnier bit is always the one that's the more to me, the more obtuse and just ridiculous.
Maybe so, but
John Cena was funny because he was in on it because I know he's like, I don't give a fuck.
But what made that scene and that whole bit work is that John is completely fucking comfortable walking around the street naked. He wouldn't.
So was Danny DeVito.
No, yes, depending. But I think it was John's also a little more currently relevant. Eye candy always sells, and it could have done the exact same scene with a girl that just had a bit that wore 2 Band-Aids and a cork.
I think we dove too deep on that. But my whole point about that is it's okay to objectify a man. Just let's take the person out of it, who the person was.
There's always been that double standard, Lynch.
Well, and it's just everybody's yay, ha 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 ha. Look, ha 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 ha. He's making fun of himself. He's a sexy guy. We do that to a woman, we're going to be burned at the fucking stake tomorrow. Like if I make a critical comment about what somebody was wearing, and I frame it in a female, I'm going to say someone who was there who was female, that you could basically see Margot Robbie's vagina because her fucking pants were so short. If I made that statement, I would never have a job in Hollywood. They'd fire me and cancel me immediately.
But there's been years.
But the same person can say, "Oh Jesus, you almost saw John Cena's penis there," because it's so fucking low cut. It's language, and it's a hypocrisy.
It is a hypocrisy.
You can wrap it up any way you fucking want. My whole point is, I'm tired of fucking people. The same people who cry and scream and pound their fucking fists because they don't get what the fuck they want are the same ones that are going to cry and scream and pound their fists when it's a woman being objectified. You want to make fun of somebody, make fun of somebody, and fucking accept it for what it is. It's humor. It's comedy.
But this
don't come crying to me. Don't come crying to me because I made a fucking film or made a statement that you don't agree with.
I agree with you 100%. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that the tables have finally turned in their direction. For years, and we can go back to the 50s with the USO shows or even the 40s, and they're sending, the ladies out, Marilyn Monroe lookalike type women in their little, whatever a bathing suit passed for back then, long legs and high heels and
burlap
makeup
and a brown bag.
And they're out there and they're entertaining. And for years, that was the norm. You go into now, who am I to judge the greatest decade of all time, the 1980s? But when you saw let's say a Motley Crue music video, what did you see? The band and hot chicks. Now, Vixen, who is just as relevant because they're chicks that rock. Did you see a bunch of beefcake guys running around doing their thing? No, the tables have turned in their favor now to where, we now as human beings understand, okay, see what we did back then? Might not have been kosher, but we did it and we're not apologetic. Go fuck yourself. Now they can do that. How many times I hear people talk about Jason Momoa, females talk about Jason Momoa. Oh my God, Jason Momoa. I'd leave my husband for Jason Momoa. I'd do this for Jason Momoa. And I think to myself, Jason Momoa wouldn't look at you twice.
I think that's part of my point too, is like these men are so unobtainable to the women that objectify them and rule over them. And, I'd leave my husband. You would not. And if you did, you're a fucking piece of shit.
Thank you.
Let's just throw that out there.
I think you're putting way too much stock into this. I got to be honest. I think you're dropping way too many fucking quarters into the claw machine, and you're coming out with you're not getting the prize you think you are.
No, you're making a good point. Please continue. I got to hear this.
I'm not sure that was just my. I'm waiting for him to finish. I'm not sure who's upset. What did you read about who being upset? Who's upset? I guess is my question. Who's upset? You're speaking in reference of people are going to get, but who's? Oh,
they are out there. People have.
Yeah, so are aliens. The government said that, but
no, they're not. The Earth is flat, and we live under a dome. There are no aliens. I've converted. The fuck I have.
There was a good Flat Earth reference on Abbott Elementary last night. It was fucking hilarious, dude.
Share it with me after the show.
I will. My point is, Herm, there are people out there complaining about it, and you wrap the whole thing up in a nice little package. The ridiculousness of it all is just as fucking ridiculous. Why, if you're not, we can't do anything nowadays where someone's not going to complain about something.
Oh yeah.
So
I look at it like this.
If you don't like the Oscars that much, don't watch. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel's funny at all. I never did, never have, never will. He's a fucking hack. He was never a comedian. He's just a guy that he failed upwards.
Yeah, wasn't he riding coattails with Adam Carolla for a long time?
He attached himself to Adam Carolla during the Man Show. And like I said, he failed upwards. He tried stand-up comedy and it didn't work out. And then he just started hanging out with Adam Carolla, who was a much better comedian and writer than Jimmy Kimmel ever is. Jimmy Kimmel doesn't write his own shit. He has a team of like 80 writers that write for him. I don't know her. Maybe I'm getting too in the clouds about it. It was just something I read Monday afternoon. Like the award show wasn't even 24 hours old yet, and people are screaming about John Cena walking on stage half naked. So what?
Fuck them.
So what?
Seriously, fuck them.
So
I look at it
what?
like this. I look at it like
And
this.
I know some people want to ask, well, what do you want us to do? What would you have done? Does it
In
really
my
fucking
room,
matter?
in my room as a teenager, I had the obligatory 1980s posters of Samantha Fox and Christina Applegate. And I also had Kiss and Metallica and Motley Crue and all that shit. And, you know, Christmas, everybody mills around. Sometimes you want to get away from whatever. And me and my two cousins would go into my room and listen to music. And my female cousin, I won't say which one because she's a cunt and her name doesn't deserve to be spoken, would say, "Ugh, I cannot believe you have those disgusting pictures on your wall, like feminism 80s style." I'm like, really? Because last year we did Christmas at your house and you have one of those beefcake pictures of Rob Lowe on your wall. Immediate silence.
Well, that's different.
Immediate. Well, she didn't say that, but you know that was rattling around in her head. Look at some of the posters that we as teenagers, you go to Spencer's and there's like 6,000 posters of bikini this and Budweiser girl that and girl washing the Lamborghini with nothing on but a thimble and some thread. And then there's like 8 posters for the chicks. The tide's turned. And I, for one, am all for it for one reason. Because the tide turns and then it turns back. And we're going to get our moment in the sun. We'll be 80 when it happens. But you know something? When I'm 80, I want that picture of fill in the blank of whoever's going to be popular in 30 years in my garage. So when, as most men do, they need to escape from their wives or girlfriends and they go out to the garage to do the work, there's the picture of, and I'll just throw whoever's hot right now, Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, boy.
She's on the wall, or Margot Robbie.
Oh, boy.
Or what's the name of that big bitch I like? God damn, I can't think of her name. She's a little thicker, but she's sexy as fuck. I can't think of her name right now. And she's young-ish, but she's thick. God damn, I can't think of her name. Doesn't matter.
Brooklyn
You
Decker?
know, I like me. Hell, for what?
Brooklyn Decker?
No. Oh,
She was a little thicker at one point.
Who's the girl that she was in Barbie too?
Oh, America Ferrera?
Thank you.
Yeah,
that is one beautiful woman.
She is beautiful.
But if she had a bikini shot, dude, in the 90s, if she was still alive today and she was now in her 50s and she did a bikini shoot, I have Selena up on the wall. Damn fucking right.
You went there.
Yes, I did. Hey, I'm riding this pony.
Have you guys no. I watched the one Emma Stone won her award for, 30 Things.
I haven't watched that yet.
And I saw Scorsese's latest film,
which is
the one that the Native American was nominated for.
Okay, sorry.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay, I've not seen that yet. I will tell you what I did see recently, and it was probably overlooked for a lot of reasons, but it should have been looked at, much as the Elvis film was looked at 2 years ago. Why wasn't Priscilla up for any awards? Because that was a fantastic fucking film. Sofia Coppola did the adaptation of Priscilla Presley's book, My Life with Elvis.
Well, I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's on HBO Max right now. It's a really good companion piece, and I say this to everybody: watch Baz Luhrmann's Elvis first, and then when you're done, they're both one's on Netflix, Priscilla's on HBO Max. Switch over to your Max and watch Priscilla. They're very good companion pieces. They fill in the holes. It wasn't fuck Elvis. This was like, I was so in love with this man, and he couldn't get past fucking around. He couldn't get past the pills, and it really did show her heartbreak. It wasn't a fuck Elvis piece, more as it was, this is love gone wrong. Really good fucking film. It should have got awards.
So the reason I bring up Killers of the Flower Moon and 30 Things is the same people that are complaining about Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig not getting nominated are up in arms about the Native American woman not winning the Oscar for Killers of the Flower Moon. Having seen both films, she was okay. She's not a great actress.
Okay.
my personal opinion, Emma Stone, even though it was Emma Stone, was unrecognizable as herself in her film. I don't know if you know the premise of it or not. And I do recommend you watch it because it's an interesting watch. She was amazing and deserved to win that award. And she was just shocked as everybody else because she didn't even have anything prepared. She's just like, holy shit, I what am I doing up here? Just because you wish it so doesn't make it so.
Correct.
And just because the Native American was up for the award, is it a mandatory that Hollywood pats themselves on the back and says, "Oh, look at you for including an indigenous person in your film"?
If we three run a foot,
you must give her the Oscar.
If we three run a foot race, and we include a Native American person in that foot race, and I'm just spitballing here, and Herm wins the foot race, should we put in the Native American finishes third? Should we immediately boost that person up and say, well, you really won the race because, you know, Herm's a colonizer and all this
adversity,
buzzword bullshit?
I do have a possible answer for why it might not have been there for Priscilla.
Okay.
The official release date of Priscilla was October 27th.
Of 2023.
Yes. The last day that you can submit your forms for any movie from July for 2023 is November 15th. They literally had 2 weeks from release date to get everything together, and I don't know, you know what I mean?
Right.
I know it's and you have to have all this shit in your packet, and I'm sure it's specific. So maybe they didn't have enough feedback on the movie yet. I don't number of views.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Thank you for the info.
I know it was only a 2 week window from the last cutoff date that you can submit those forms.
Well, considering my favorite movie of the last 6 months was released on December 22nd, we're putting the iron claw on all the awards next year. Damn it.
I hear good things about that. I'm really looking forward to watching it when I have the ability to.
I hope Amazon's not listening, but if you want my sign-in info, you can watch it right now. As if we haven't shared passwords with each other over the last 2 years.
We don't do that. We
no,
do that.
Absolutely not. We're good, upstanding young citizens.
We all pay for our own.
Which one of you made the point about the people who cry the blues the most? Was that you, Lynch?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same people that are crying the blues about, you know, well, this person should have won because it's Native American, or Margot Robbie should have won, and this. They're the same people who will tell you to respect their opinion but will not respect your opinion. They're the same people. They're the same people that say, be kind, practice empathy, and do none of that in their daily lives.
Yeah.
They talk a good game, or as Herm likes to say, young white people. 30 or under, young white people. Let me show how socially conscious I am, but you're an asshole. Really? Okay. So you're allowed to call me an asshole, but I can't call you anything in return. No, because you're not. That's not nice. Go fuck yourself. Sideways with a rake handle. What'd you say, Herm?
Pretty much.
Yes, thank you. This is your baby, Lynch. You like the Oscars. We got stuff we can talk about beyond this, but I'm having a good time.
I think the whole thing is just, it used to be the popularity contest, like the most popular movie, the most seen movie. And just so happens that sometimes the Academy got it right and the right movie won. I mean,
I think you're
driving
now.
Exactly. The
viewer is different.
The viewer has matured, and the viewers baseline for what they consider good entertainment, to me personally, has been raised. You look, for instance, I think it's completely
opposite. I think the problem is that the bar has been lowered. All right, and you only have some great films that deserve superlatives, a few sprinkling,
Mhm.
a garnishing of parsley, if you will, on the entire industry. But I think, unfortunately, while the technical demand of a movie and its effects have gone way the fuck up, because I listened to a 21-year-old last week talk about little errors in CGI, and I'm like, you what are you, a fucking, what are you, what you go to school for fucking film? Dude, the closest thing you know to fucking CGI is what that Xbox does. Sit the fuck down.
Yep.
All right. What you know about, smudges and doesn't look right. Sit the fuck down.
Look,
that ray
you know what
tracing,
else?
that ray
The-
tracing looks all wrong.
The problem
Right?
is the bar has actually gone down for good acting.
Oh,
Special effect, the bar has gone down. All right. The Godfather was exceptional, but not by 800 fucking miles that year. It was because of the story it told, not
And
that
the
it was
acting.
shot, and not right, and not that it was, the acting was that much greater than anything else that hit a lot of the theaters that year. But you had an amazing cast, you had an amazing story, and an amazing director. The problem is I think is directors now are putting more into their effects and CGI and bullshit than we are into acting. Watch any John Wayne movie. You will watch 30 dudes on fucking horseback walk across the most cinematically beautiful fucking canyon while soft country western guitar music plays for 3.5 fucking minutes, and that 3.5 minutes tells all the story that they wanted to tell.
What was the film?
You don't get those shots.
Help me, Lynch. The French Connection. I didn't even need it. The French Connection, shot in New York.
Popeye Doyle.
Popeye Doyle, you got that right. And they're basically shooting it guerrilla style, not Herm guerrilla, like guerrilla warfare style. We got to
They
get
didn't
these shots in.
No permits.
Yeah, no
Right.
permits. We're out here doing it bare ass, and they get their shots in. It was great, and you got the grittiness. You got everything along with it. No CGI. If you have to fix something up, whatever, great. People now look at. Somebody said to me, Oppenheimer is all CGI. I'm like, you didn't see the film, did you? It was CGI for maybe 1/10 of the film. The rest of it was straight up acting and great direction and great cinematography. That is what I always thought the Academy Award should be. Excellence. But like Herm said, the bar has been lowered. If the bars are that low and it continues to lower, if they make it, Ted 3 is a shoo-in for an Academy Award.
Well, here's the thing. Since 2019, 2020, COVID had a huge impact on the box office and people going to the movies.
True.
And then Paramount, Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, all these streaming companies come creeping out of the woodwork and put all their money and bets on streaming being the next best thing. So you capture your audience at home. They started releasing movies streaming for free.
Yep.
Hoping that the tie-in merchandising would kind of recoup some of the money, and then the physical media sales thereafter. So COVID really had Hollywood take a huge hit. I agree with both of your points, saying that the bar is set low for the audience. I think acting wise, the last couple of years, the bar has been set higher by the actors that have been winning the awards. Cillian Murphy was fucking phenomenal in Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you go back and look at
Robert Downey Jr. actually, to me, owned that film.
If I think that should have been an exception, he should have been nominated for Best Actor. There were actors that have been in films less time than him that won Best Actor awards in the past. He was ridiculously phenomenal in that.
Yeah, have you seen Maestro at all?
Yes.
Dude, Bradley Cooper absolutely nailed the role of Leonard Bernstein.
Now,
Fantastic.
if they had handed Bradley Cooper the golden statue, I would agree with them. Because actor this year was a tough race. You had really, really, really good performances. Same thing with actress. And that's part of the whole point with Margot Robbie being excluded. She couldn't hold a candle to the other performances that were nominated.
Absolutely not.
That's the way the Oscars should
work.
Were 30 some odd years ago.
Dude, 20 years ago it was like that.
It's cyclical. When the Oscars first came out, it was all about, holy shit, we can actually put this stuff on film and people are going to pay money to see my crazy stories. To then it was the 20s and 30s were just cranking them out. Just the quality wasn't there. There was no continuity. It was guerrilla style filmmaking. Everybody did something different. There was no rating system. There was a Hays Code, and the Hays Code was subject to interpretation for what they could portray with nudity and profanity and all this other bullshit. And then comes the 50s where it got really tight and everybody's making the same kind of movie. And then the 60s is where the revolution of the independent film, your Easy Riders, you got your Francis Ford Coppola coming up, your George Lucas, your Steven Spielberg on the late 60s, early 70s. And from the 70s till about the 90s, it was quality films. When Driving Miss Daisy won Best Picture that year, is the worst of the Best Picture films that were up for awards. The worst. Great movie, just not that kind of Oscar worthy. That's when
not nearly as good as the others.
That's when things started taking a turn in Hollywood, where it was more about let's just crank out more films, more titles per year to make as much money as we possibly can. Of course, they're going to do that because Hollywood is a business, and just like any other business, they want to generate revenue. So it was popcorn film after popcorn film after popcorn film, all through the late 80s into the 90s and into the 2000s, where it goes back to more of the artiste, where you have your Adrian Brody's that were up and coming. I can't remember the name of the movie, but he won an Oscar for it. He was really good in that movie. Anna Paquin won an award at 13 years old. Really good. That's
for The Professional.
No. Anna Paquin
My Girl.
Anna Paquin was.
Was that my? No, that was
no. It was a period piece. It was a period piece. I can't remember the name of it right now.
I'm looking it up now.
But
she won Best Actress,
either supporting or best actress.
Give me a second. Best Supporting Actress, 1994. Great fucking film too.
Yeah.
The Piano. Thank you to the Google machine.
So those up and coming great actors, and then early 2000s comes back around. You get a couple more waves of great actors coming up and coming, and then the mid 2000s it was just garbage, popcorn, crank them out. Let's just get as many asses in the seats as possible. Now Hollywood has to think differently when they make a movie. They know on $100 million film, they have to recoup $500 to $600 million to break even, because Hollywood math isn't real math. Hollywood math is different.
Mm-hmm.
$100 million, that's paying the crews, that's paying the actors, that's paying the writer, the director, producer, anybody who was involved in actually making the film. And then there's the marketing budget, which is usually as equal to or 2 times the amount of that the film cost. So you're say $100 million, you put another 100, that's $200 million in real money. But then with all the other cuts that the theaters keep, that this person takes and this lawyer takes and this lawyer takes, the money just gets. You might as well just throw it out of an airplane and let whoever gets it.
I'm willing to stand underneath that plane.
40,000 feet below. So in order to make their money back, they have to get a lot of people in the seats to see these movies.
Just in the last 10 years. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry, I didn't know you're.
So, a statistic for you. In 2019 alone, there were 9 $1 billion films. 9 in 1 year. Since then, there have been 6. Okay.
Interesting.
Hollywood is bleeding. Hollywood is hurting. And
because they're shoveling shit.
I find that and Herm will attest to me. I asked him about a show the other night. If you watch it, he's like, yeah, I watched that show. It's fucking fantastic. The Irrational. The quality of television has
I have
gotten
yet
better.
to see that. God,
The actual quality of television shows has gotten much, much better in the last 3-4 years.
Sure.
Will Trent, The Irrational, Abbott Elementary is one of the best sitcoms or just comedies. It's not a situation comedy; it's just a comedy, and it's
I could
filmed
throw out.
it's filmed mockumentary style, like The Office
Yeah.
was, but is hilariously funny, very well written. I love Quinta Brunson. I think she's cute and she's funny, and I hope she makes a gazillion dollars in her career.
It's not in my wheelhouse, but Wolf Like Me is a fantastic
We started
fucking show.
Josh Gad. We started watching that a couple months ago. We kind of paused on that to watch other things.
I watched the first season like it was my job. The second season, because I've had so many things going on the last couple months, I slept on season 2. I'm getting ready to dive into it very soon. But just to go back to your point about what we're shoveling as greatness now, do you remember? Well, you might. You're like the stat boy of movies. You're Corey with a possum. Go ahead, do that right there. There you go. Yep. Do you remember what won Best Picture in 2014? Fantastic film, too.
2014.
2014.
Wasn't Wolf of Wall Street. It wasn't.
It was not. That was a year earlier.
That was 2013. Was it The Diving Bell?
No, it was 12 Years a Slave.
Okay. Diving Bell was
a fantastic fucking film. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Google machine and just give me a random year between our births and today. And make it good. Somebody, quickly.
1978.
1978, Best Picture. Here we go. Annie Hall, fantastic fucking film. 1979, Best Picture. The Deer Hunter, fantastic fucking film. So if somebody out there wants to describe to me in, I don't know, 500 words or less how Barbie deserves to be on the same level as these fantastic films, I'm willing to listen.
No,
it's kind of like the Grammy Awards. Taylor Swift wins like 600 Grammys, and people are bitching about Beyonce. I don't like either of them.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But there's a difference.
I'm listening.
The Grammys are based on sales.
Yeah.
That's all it is, okay? Because you pick your 24. No, the Grammys are based on sales, okay? All of your charts and how all of your Billboard charts and where your position is based on sales, okay?
Hold that thought.
Everything in the Grammys is about sales.
I mean, you can predict the Grammys pretty much if you follow how many albums they sold.
Now
you can predict them.
Hollywood,
I'll prove that wrong right now.
The Oscars are all about excellence, but really, is it excellence? Because Transformers: Age of Extinction was the #1 movie that year, and it made more motherfucking money than any other film even remotely close to it. So who's the real winner here?
Right. But every studio has to have that kind of movie in their back pocket because you need your art pieces and you need your blockbusters. You got to have a handful of blockbusters to carry you through the dry part of the season.
I can counter that.
Until your award-winning movies come out. Your Golden Globes and your Oscar winners.
Do you remember the 2 biggest albums in 1987 by sales? No. I can because I'm looking at them.
No,
Michael Jackson and Def Leppard.
Right.
Okay.
You know who won album of the year that year?
Who?
Paul Simon with Graceland.
Well,
that album was ridiculously popular.
It was ridiculously good too. However, I'm just saying that the Grammys sometimes is a popularity contest versus sales, or sometimes it's sales over popularity.
Your nominees were all based on sales, and then there's a bunch of other musicians that sit in a room and decide who those people who made a shitload of money are, who they decide they want to see that go. It's still based on sales.
What was the year? I can't remember it. There was it wasn't album of the year. Who's best new artist? Go ahead, please, Lynch.
It's the same reason that Jethro Tull won Best Heavy Metal over Metallica, based on sales, because Jethro Tull had a huge established fan base. Metallica was just breaking into the mainstream, and it wasn't for the Black Album; it was for Injustice for All.
Justice, yeah,
and that cracked them into the mainstream with their song One.
All right, now I'm curious. Now I'm really fucking curious.
Bi-curious?
Depending on the day and if there's $50 involved.
Based way more about money and sales and chart rankings, and the Oscars are more about excellence in film. It's two different grading systems,
right? And my whole point about that is that, like, we're on the renaissance now of better pictures. Let fewer movies per year in the release cycle, but the ones they do release are of a better quality for the most part. Like Renfield, I thought was going to be a fucking piece of shit. It was actually a really decent comedy.
No, it was a piece of shit. Nicolas Cage was excellent,
which makes it awesome.
That's my argument, and I'll die on that hill. Nicolas Cage movies are horrible. Nicolas Cage is excellent.
We still have to watch The Retirement Plan.
All right.
It's
just
good.
To go back to your Jethro Tull point, that year, and that was, I don't know if that was a gimme pick or we finally have this award that Jethro Tull can win. Jethro Tull's Rock Island sold just over 2 million copies after release. After release, And Justice for All sold 5.5 million and is currently sitting at 11 million. I don't know if it's about sales.
Yeah.
But
it all depends on the chart.
I will say this because, you know, everybody's buttered Beyonce's ass for years and years. She's a talented singer. She can dance. I've seen 2 of her videos. Okay. I'm the wrong guy to ask this question because if Taylor Swift beats her out, I've listened to more Taylor Swift because my daughter's a fan. And I've seen 2 of her videos because my daughter's a fan. I'm not actively seeking out Taylor Swift videos. I don't know who's better than who. But if you're on one side of the fence or the other, you're going to get pissy. There are movies that I think this should win all the awards, and they get nominated for all the awards, and they don't win dick. You know what I don't do? Bitch. Because it doesn't affect me one way or the other. I still get up the next morning, put my pants on one leg at a time.
You have that.
I have somebody help me. Yeah, because I'm not a Nickelback fan. Nobody has to tie my shoes for me. But I get up and I go to work and I do my thing every fucking day.
You have that 5 seconds of, that sucks for them, and then you move on with your day.
Mm-hmm. I mean there are roles.
There are other films. There are other films that have won Best Picture that are like, really, in this pool of films, you're picking that one. And that happens a lot. It happens a lot, and a lot of times it's because it's the message. Either the message the film is sending, or it's a little bit more artistic and less straightforward than a mainstream blockbuster or a really good, well performed mainstream movie.
Mm-hmm. And I think my opinion, I think these awards are good for the time. What tells us what a fantastic, and I say fantastic, really good, entertaining, however you want to put it, timeless film is, can you put it on today and be entertained the same way you were when you saw that film? I could throw films out there like Beverly Hills Cop. If you put that on today, are you going to be just as entertained as you were back then?
It's aged. Yeah. It's aged very well.
Yeah. I'm not on an Eddie Murphy kick here, but The Golden Child, fantastic film. Major League, fantastic film. They're not going to win awards.
No, but they're good movies.
But time tells you that tale. Yeah. When they make the list of 100 best movies of all time, which they did, I don't know how many years ago. Yes, a lot of them were award winners, but some of them slipped by and didn't win shit. But there they are, some of the most timeless films you'll ever see.
Here's the important thing to remember about the Oscars. The actor really wants to win because that automatically inflates his paycheck by a very large percentage.
Oh yeah, because when you
the rest of his
do
career,
when
his
you do
agent-
the ads for the movies, it's like, this is an
Oscar
upcoming
nominee.
film. Oscar Academy Award winner Joe Shit the Ragman stars in.
So the actor wants the Oscar. Anybody who says they don't is just being polite. Their agent and their lawyer want them to win because that inflates their paycheck. And then the studio they happen to have maybe signed a deal with wants them to win. So, I mean, there's a lot of people invested in this award season, and they spend a lot of money promoting their product and their product being the film and the actors. For it, like, if you sign an agreement with Warner Brothers, your ass belongs to Warner Brothers for the next 5 to 10 years. How many ever pictures you've agreed to do, however long it takes. So they're your boss. They own your ass. They all want you to win, and they want you to win in the worst way. So it's more of a business concern whether my actor wins or not for my nominated film. If my film wins, everybody wins, no matter what. You starred, or you were a bit part, or you were in this Oscar-winning film for Best Picture in 2019 or whatever. That goes a long way for you as your reputation. I think it's really just a 3.5, 4 hours of glad handing and patting yourselves on the back. Maybe rightfully so, maybe not. I don't know. I don't live in Hollywood. I don't know those people. I don't know the ins and outs. But as an outsider looking in and following Hollywood trends and watching other podcasters and stuff report on this stuff, and just how desperate Hollywood is right now, including Disney. Disney is in so much fucking trouble right now because they just can't stop shooting themselves in the foot. They need a win. They need a huge win. And with their current game plan, Disney, they're not going to win in the future. No. I mean, win, not an Oscar win. I mean, a win for themselves. Just do something that is well received by the majority of the fan base. Walt Disney Company has effectively isolated the long-term hardcore Star Wars fans, Star Trek fans, and Marvel comic fans by pushing out product that's reflective of the woke ideology.
Right. Hey, Ryan Springer in the comment section.
Hey, Ryan. So, I mean, I don't know if you watch the Marvel shows on Disney Plus or not.
I don't do anything involved with Disney. I don't even watch ESPN hardly anymore.
No, honestly, it's a situation. There's nothing on there really that I need to have. And if I had grandkids around, I'd spend the $10 and let the kids binge the fuck out.
Right.
But the once a year series that I might be interested that they put out, I can wait for fucking Marvel movies. I'm okay. I'll buy them. I'll rent them when they come out on everybody else's shit, and you know what I mean. So I'm all right with Disney. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't have a need for it.
I've had it since we had Hulu, because it's the Hulu Disney package, and it works out to be a little bit cheaper.
I started my own fucking Netflix account.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bothers me a little bit.
Netflix
I have
is
to.
a beast.
It won't let me. I have to.
Really?
Yeah, it keeps telling me I am not part of the household.
Which is funny, because when Emma tries to sign in, I get an email. I'm like, yeah, I'm on the road a lot. I travel to this, and I'm signing in.
No, that nigga knows I'm in Colorado, and it knows that somebody in on the East Coast is watching at the same time. That nigga knows. They know a nigga. And
hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, I know a nigga.
Hey, I fixed your suit.
Yeah, they didn't. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just spend it. Done. Because we talked about shit. But yeah. But I had to remember my password to get rid of it, so I didn't get rid of myself. Because I don't know what the fuck my password
Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Kid.
Yeah, but I had the opportunity to catch up or stay in tune with what Disney's been cranking out as far as Marvel and Star Wars.
Garbage.
And it fucking absolute dog shit. Dog shit. Ahsoka was. I don't know what Ahsoka was. I don't.
That's
the
that
actor-
big water gun that you shoot at your buddies.
That's
Ahsoka.
Soup Ahsoka.
Right. Okay.
Um,
Sorry.
Some of the newest She-Hulk was like the worst ever.
Well,
show.
let's be honest. As a Marvel fan, the entire She-Hulk storyline was trash. You can rub as much buttermilk on a pig as you want, but it's still a fucking pig. All right.
Word. Heard.
That's the problem. It's like the difference between Hulk and Incredible Hulk series. It's Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man. It's all those secondary storylines.
They bastardized it so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrible. And She-Hulk was one of those. Like, they did that that was done back before, equal rights, and Marvel's always been kind of progressive.
Mm-hmm.
Comic book writers have always been progressive, and they did that because they were trying to pull female comic book readers in. It's not a legit storyline, man. It's horrible. So you can't make something that was a horrible storyline and a bad idea, not because it was female. The storyline sucked.
You guys have read more Marvel than I have. I'm admittedly a DC guy.
I'm an Elektra fan. I'm all kinds of that shit.
Mhm.
I love some of the female superheroes and
Sure.
Electra's badass.
but She-Hulk it wasn't it.
Let me ask you a question. You guys are Marvel guys. I'm more of a DC guy. The She-Hulk, the backstory of the original She-Hulk, did she have a job? Was she an attorney at law?
No, I think that
Then
was.
why are they fucking doing this?
Well,
Because
because
it's supposed to be cute.
It's right. It's cute. It's modernized. She's also it also makes, you know what I mean, like she's independent. It brings in a lot of the nowadays.
Oh, so men ain't shit.
No, not at all. No, just more. She was independent, and that's kind of the way the kid wanted the character.
Who watched
that
that
is the
show?
way
I
that-
didn't.
I didn't.
I did.
I read a little bit about it. Did some
Okay.
reading on it.
All
Didn't
right.
actually watch
I
the
got a
show.
question for Lynch.
I refused.
Do we get to see a green titty?
No.
Damn it.
No.
Not worth it.
I mean, I'm looking at the Marvel shows for the last cycle here, and the films. Miss Marvel,
Garbage.
it wasn't good. The girl is good in the show. The young girl, I like her. She needs to do something else.
The film was garbage.
The Marvels, which
Garbage.
you would have to have watched Miss Marvel and a couple other Marvel shows to even understand, which is why I don't like that. They're weaving fabric
Well,
into
we know
show.
about Miss Marvel from
Captain Marvel.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
and the Flash, that whole thing.
And then flash forward to movies. The Doctor Strange movie was not good.
Nope.
Multiverse of Madness. The first Doctor Strange I really liked. Multiverse of Madness wasn't great. Wasn't great at all. It's just I've lost so much. 6 years ago when it said Marvel, I was there. I haven't seen a Marvel movie in the theater in a very long time. Pre-COVID. And
they
anything I've watched through Disney Plus, like the newest Thor, not great. And he's one of my favorite characters.
What is that? That's the gay Thor movie, right?
Yeah, where it's the Mighty Thor, where the girl becomes the Mighty Thor.
He's the mighty Thor.
Yes.
Yeah, he is Mighty Thor from his ass.
He's mighty Thor. I'm gonna make his ass mighty Thor.
He's going to get the best year of Phrygia scene at the
Yeah.
AVH Awards.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, not good.
Oh,
The
garbage.
first one was pretty funny. It was a good film. It's just
I got to be honest. I don't watch the Ant-Man movies for the Marvel action for the most part. I watch it
For Paul Rudd.
and Mike Pena.
Yeah, Paul Rudd and Mike Pena make those.
I literally watch those movies to watch those two. It's like watching me and one of you two go. I find that funny as fuck.
Okay.
I think the two of them are the best parts of those movies. I really do.
I just think they've bastardized the. I'll put it this way: Marvel will put out anything. Disney, Marvel, whoever owns the property now, will put out anything as long as it has the Marvel name on it. On what planet did you think you wanted an Ant-Man movie? Growing up,
I was excited for that. I was excited for that, the first one.
Yep. Growing up in the time that we did, the Marvel movies / television shows were relegated to television. So you had Nicholas Hammond as Spider-Man. You had Bill Bixby and Ferrigno as the Hulk. Go ahead.
DC, but I'd like to see Apache Chief.
Yes. Thank you.
Apache Chief would be awesome.
Yes.
I would love to see, just call in a native, call in somebody kind of buff, and just Apache Chief. Let's offend every fucking person on the planet.
Over the telephone to provide an update on the 2024 legislative session.
Oh, get the fuck out of here with that.
What are we doing here? Come on.
Growing up, we got the soup.
Something completely fucking offensive. He
was a great character.
Every native on the planet in the country would be like, "Fuck yeah, bro!"
Right?
Reservoir Dogs.
And you know who would not be happy with an Apache Chief movie? Young white people,
white girls.
And men, because there are a lot of them out there. Look, as a kid, we grew up in a time where the Superman movie came out and the ad was spectacular. Before you saw Superman, you saw the thing come out at you across the screen. You will believe that a man can fly. And then you saw the action scenes and this and that. Superman, the movie, in theaters everywhere. And then fast forward about 10 years, then came Michael Keaton's Batman. And then they bastardized the shit out of Batman to a point where I almost gave up. But you don't see, like, we're seeing Shazam now, but I haven't seen a Plastic Man movie. I haven't seen a movie about the Mighty Atom, ATOM, not Black Adam, which is where they fucked everything up.
Right.
I haven't seen a movie about Samurai or Hawkman, but Marvel will take any bit character. Deadpool's a fantastic character, and I'm glad they made 2 movies, but that's where it ends. It should stop. Don't make any more. Don't ruin the franchise. You don't see when Aquaman comes out.
That and to rebut that, I think Ryan Reynolds' involvement in that movie is the stabilizer for it not getting too fucked up.
I can counter that because they took a character like Deadpool, who was wildly popular, and put Ryan Reynolds, easy for me to say, into that role. How did that do for a bit character in the DC universe like Green Lantern? Nobody wants to see Green Lantern
because it was a bad movie.
First of all, Green Lantern was Sony. That wasn't
still
Marvel.
A DC property.
DC, right? Yeah, that was Sony. Not DC.
Right.
It's still a DC property. They got to get the rights.
Right. But that was Sony's first big venture into a super movie with a lot of CGI, into a superhero movie. And basically that was their way to see. Look, that movie required so many manifestations from the ring that it was literally the largest test scene on the planet.
Yeah.
But Reynolds has even admitted it. He's even made fun of him fucking self. And please, not some horrible green fucking suit.
Right.
Look.
What was the scene in Deadpool when he's flying?
His first action roles.
Wasn't
where
there
he-
a scene in Deadpool where he gets flipped over or something and his wallet opens up and a picture of Green Lantern comes out
Yes,
and
yes,
everybody in the theater has a belly laugh?
yes, and he's like, and then there's the other one where he's like, please don't make it like just some horrible fucking green bodysuit.
Right?
Yes. But that was all a test for Sony. That was Sony's first big check into that. That was Reynolds' first real action hero style, because before that he was Van fucking Wilder.
And the guy from Waiting.
That's what I'm saying. So that's there's no, that was his first test role for that. It was Sony's test for a CGI mostly movie that they could, and it was a good test, because from that we got Venom. All right, that they decided to go in with Venom, and Venom is I loved Venom.
I liked it better when Venom was the side character in a Spider-Man movie. A whole movie about Venom. I was like, really? You're gonna give me this? I didn't think it was that good. But that's me. I'm again Marvel versus DC, however you want to look at it.
And
if we want to talk about who was in Blade 3, Ryan, help me out here. Was that Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds was in Ryan Reynolds, Jessica Biel, somebody else who became popular, and Wesley. Don't talk to me, Snipes.
Gotcha.
I don't make eye contact.
The best part about DC was whoever it was. Was it Schumacher or Burton? That bastardized the Batman.
Burton was the first two films.
Right. Okay. So Schumacher fucked it up for everybody.
Once Warner Brothers went crazy and asked Michael Keaton to do more of a merchandise movie than an actual Batman movie, is when Tim Burton walked away, and that's when.
Well, yeah. Then
Joel Schumacher stepped in.
And they brought in Val, right?
Yes. And then
Val first, and then George Clooney, who plays a great Bruce Wayne and a shitty Batman, whereas Val Kilmer played a great Batman and a shitty Bruce Wayne.
Great Batman and a shitty Bruce Wayne. And then we end up with Christian Bale, who is an excellent Bruce Wayne and just the superior Batman.
Amen.
And I'm not a DC fan, and you know this, but Christian Bale is the superior Batman.
What Schumacher got right was the introduction of Robin. Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. Because you know that's my favorite superhero.
Yes.
Executed incorrectly, but yes, I'll give
very much incorrectly. However, the movies now, even I love the Nolan films, but where they fucked up with Robin in the Nolan films was Officer John Blake. You should use your first name, Robin. No, you're not Robin. Dick Grayson is Robin. Tim Drake is Robin. Jason Todd died, came back, and still didn't come back as Robin.
He came back as what the fuck's his name?
Red Hood.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but
Red Hood.
if you go to Titans on HBO Max, a fantastic series. I can't wait for the final season to come out eventually. This show has legs. However, you have obviously Dick Grayson, who made the transition in the show from Robin to Nightwing.
Yep.
You have Jason Todd, who was Robin and then got killed and came back, and now he's Red Hood in the show. But now we've introduced Tim Drake, and what did they do? They made Tim. This is the only complaint I have about Titans. Tim Drake is black, and Tim Drake is gay. Do we really need to take this story, which never had a hole in it, and make this happen? There are plenty of other characters. Robin is a main character. If you wanted to take Hawk and Dove, which, again, bit pieces, but you want to see that big burly dude act like a gay guy? Have Hawk turn gay. Don't take Robin. Don't take Robin. Don't take that from me.
It's a sign of the times, dude. It's a sign of the times, and
that's
exactly my point with Marvel, is that they put
it's a sign of horse shit.
It's a sign of the times.
Well,
Marvel's doing the same thing by putting
I think you also
the current narrative into the films.
You've also got to remember, guys, the times during which all of this was written. When did all these storylines came out? All right, was not any kind of understanding period towards any of that. Deadpool only got away with it because he was crazy in the fucking head. And even back then, it was quite a fucking stretch when he looked at when he talked about humping another man, or even leaning towards that homosexual tendencies.
Trying to remember where I first saw it.
And I'm surprised they haven't leaned on that more in the two films. There is an instance in the first one where she's pegging him, and it's funny because most people don't remember that about Deadpool. He was up for anything in the comics.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. His head is so fucked up that his sexuality is kind of very fluid. He's bisexual. And that was one of his. That was technically one of his like messed up things about him.
Yeah,
let's go back in time. When you're done, Lynch. Sorry.
The films don't really they make them out as crazy, but they don't really they very downplay it. Ryan Reynolds has been championing for Deadpool movies since he appeared as Deadpool in that piece of shit movie Wolverine Origins. He played Wade Wilson, and at the end of the movie they made him a fucking mutant with claws in his hands with his mouth sewn shut. So the Deadpool is the merc with the mouth because he breaks the fourth wall, he curses and swears, and he's a wise ass.
All right, so you're a Marvel guy.
So they effectively sewed his mouth shut, and then from that point forward, he financed the test reel, he financed all that bullshit to get Deadpool on the screen. So go ahead.
You're a Marvel guy. You've been a comic book reader since you hit the ground running. I actually had to look this up because I thought I was right, but I had to look it up. Marvel was the first comic company to come out with an openly gay character. Do you remember who it was?
Oh Christ! It was
It was in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yes. I'll give you one hint.
Was it black character?
From Alpha Flight.
Was it a black character?
No.
I'm thinking of a different book. Alpha Flight. What the fuck? I don't remember.
North Star.
Oh, that's right.
But what year was that?
Oh, let me look it up.
North Star. I think North Star debuted in '93.
North Star as a character debuted in 1979. I'm trying to find out where the
new book
came out.
I think he came out in the 90s. I want to say 93 to 95.
All right, so 70. If we're talking late 70s, early 80s, there was starting to be acceptance at that point, and that was the thing. When did Captain America get written? When did Stan write Spider-Man? When did Stan write the Hulk? When did all of those come out?
50s and 60s, brother.
Then that was a much different time. Look, I'm not saying every character has to be gay, bi, or have an issue. All right, but I understand. I can understand. I mean, it's a producer and somebody making a movie. This is what they're looking for. I would be interested to find out what the reason was for adding that attribute to the character. You guys know I'm real big on character development. I would like to know why it was significant, and if they can give me a legitimate answer about why they think it plays after they read it and because let's be honest, we all read a story and we all interpret it different. So I'd be willing to sit down and find out why they added that attribute to Robin, only with an open ear. You know what I mean? If it's anything other than I felt, and it was a definitive answer rather than like, I just thought it'd be cool. You can go fuck yourself. But it is more acceptable of sexual orientation these days.
But why Robin?
Did you find
stop it?
Come on,
you find when North Star came out?
I'm still looking.
You see Robin, little twink ass running around.
I will punch you in the butt. You shut the
fucking. Not a full suit, was just wearing like underwear and a set of nylons and them little.
You shut your whore mouth. I will kill you. I will physically kill you. Stop
little
it.
Yellow bitch booties.
Stop it. They were green. They were green.
That's what he wore in prison. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna kill
you. He like cut the crotch out of his pants and made a skirt.
Shut up.
I say that all the time.
North Star officially came out as gay in 1992. I was very fucking close.
Alpha Flight 106, right?
Yep. He finds and adopts a baby girl who is revealed to have AIDS and dies by the end of the issue.
That was also the year where there was a character in DC that was fucking everything up and ended up being Hawk.
Yeah, wasn't 92 the Doomsday year too, or was that 90?
No, Doomsday was a little before that.
I had my timelines wrong. I get that.
That's all right.
Happens often.
That's all right.
But yeah, I knew it was after the death and resurrection of Superman.
A year's worth of crossovers on this, whatever it was, and I can't remember the name of the character. Who is this guy? How does he know so much about all these, Justice League members and all of this? And how does he know the inner? And it's Hawk. Who gives a shit? It's like Aquaman. When they made the Aquaman movie, it's like I looked around me and I'm like, how many of us as kids were like, why is Aquaman on the show? Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Robin. Maybe throw in Apache Chief, like Herm said. There were so many other great characters that you could build around. Why are we having a movie about Aquaman? Oh, wait, I know. Because Jason Momoa will have his shirt off for 90 minutes, and you'll sell tickets to the women. Guys don't give a shit about Aquaman. Did you have an Aquaman action figure as a kid?
Yeah, I did.
Well, then you're gay.
I did actually. Right. He stood right next to Spider-Man. It was a dichotomy of Marvel and DC.
Oh yeah, see, you were already blending universes. You were doing crossovers before they were cool. I was
doing multiverses before multiverses were multiverses, motherfucker.
Son of a bitch. As we wind down the clock to the end of the show, what do you guys got? What?
We got far today.
Yeah, we did. We learned a couple things about Lynch. He's high already. His beard is magnificent.
It is.
And he might be one of the 8 people on Earth who had an Aquaman action figure. Him and the guy from 40-Year-Old Virgin had an Aquaman action figure.
I might be Jesus.
Like, what's your superpower? I can talk to fish. So can I, but I'm usually drunk. Herm's heard me talk to fish. I go fishing. I throw the worm on. I go, here, fishy, 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 fishy. What are you doing, Chris? Watch, I'll catch fish. And I do.
Come here, buddy.
Yep. Here, fishy, 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 fishy. They can't hear you. They don't know that. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy.
They can sense my vibrations.
I am Aquaman.
That's right.
I thought the first one was good. Not great, but it was entertaining.
His introduction during the Justice League film
I watched
was
the new
fantastic.
one the other day.
How is it?
I thought it was pretty good. It's a good story.
Did Amber Heard shit on anything during that film?
No, just herself. No.
I saw it pop up. You know what I really like? I know we're gonna test the waters of how long we're gonna go. The Wonder Woman films, forget that Gal Gadot is just an amazingly beautiful woman. The Wonder Woman films are fantastically made, and they tell good stories. They really did that.
84.
I was just gonna say I liked the first one. The second one, I had to watch it a couple times. I couldn't get through it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
The whole anti-nuke message.
That's what was going on in 84.
I understand that. You don't. I lived it. Just
I know.
As you did.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought. I didn't think it was necessary. I felt did Greta Gerwig direct that because it seemed to have a very big social message and not a lot of anything else.
All right. Did you guys both seen Wonder Woman 84?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you see? I forget whose house she walks into. There's a picture of Jerry Lawler.
Really?
Yep.
I'll have to look for that.
I can't remember when it was, but she goes in and they show the guy's mail, and he's got a copy of, and I had that copy when I was a kid, of Pro Wrestling Illustrated with Jerry Lawler on the cover. The king, awesome. Baby. The king.
Baby.
There's only one king of wrestling, and that is Jerry the King Lawler.
Harley Race?
No. Jerry the King. When we went to that birthday party at McDonald's, did we call him King Harley? No, we called him Jerry the King. You remember Jerry the King? That little kid. Why is that guy calling me Jerry the King? Shut up, wear your crown.
Speaking of wrestling, have you guys seen the videos of Diamond Dallas Page getting Butterbean to walk again?
No.
Look it up on YouTube, man. Holy shit.
That
We didn't
dude-
even get to touch on the fact that we all that Jake Paul came out as suicidal.
We'll
He
talk
did?
about that next week.
did?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he
Well,
signed his own
yeah, he-
suicide note.
He signed
He
it.
did?
Yeah, it was right on Tyson's chest when he signed the contract.
I can't wait to watch that fight.
Hey, you know what? When I decide it's my time, I'm gonna call Netflix and say, "Can you broadcast it live for millions of people to see all over the world?"
Can you book me a fight with Tyson? I'm through with living.
Dude, have you seen the video of his when he tells his dad?
Who, Jake Paul?
Yeah, Jake Paul tells his dad, and Logan's there too. Or Jake Paul's sitting there talking to his dad, and he tells him, he's like, "I did him like, Dad, who is the most impressive badass?" And he's like, "Mike Tyson." He's like, "Yeah, I kind of booked a fight with him." And his dad's like, "He's gonna hit you so hard."
I can just see Paulie from Rocky IV. The fight's going to be on Christmas Day in Russia, and Paulie goes, "Are you nuts?
Are you crazy?
Are you nuts?" Oh my God. Ryan Springer comes in, Tyson knockout first round. I'm disagreeing with that for one reason. Tyson's going to lure him in.
Tyson's got to play with him just to see what's going on. I don't think he's really afraid of Paul.
Nope. And then the start of, I'm calling it now. Book it. Go to DraftKings. Go to wherever you got to go. The start of the second round. Ding, and they walk toward the center of the ring, and Jake Paul's going to throw a couple things, and Tyson's going to uncork that right.
About 15 to 20 seconds into round two, Tyson's going to take the first round. But look, we all know that Tyson likes to go in, go in deep inside, and he ain't
not
scared
this time.
All right. I think he's going to play with him and see what he's throwing just to watch his moves. He'll probably catch him with something that goes down in the first round. And I figure he comes out and maybe 15 to 25 seconds into round two, he waits for Jake to expose the spot he's discovered, and he drops him with a left hook.
What was that old combination he used to do? You would see him contort his body and throw the left into the ribs.
Well, you got to remember the left is his power hand.
Okay, so it was the right to the, it was the right to the ribs.
He hits you with the left in the ribs, and then he hits you with a jab, and then he comes back with a left hook.
Right,
and right behind the ear, and you go night.
I say 3 rounds.
Wow.
Rounds. Halfway through the third round. And I say 3 because I agree with Herm and you. He's gonna play with him. He's gonna see. Come on, kid. Show me your weakness.
Now I
want to make this look good. I want to get some time in here.
Right, he's gonna make it look good, get some TV time, and all right, I had a round. I'm good. I'm out.
Yeah, but I say 3 rounds, and I hope there's a priest right on the spot.
He said
a priest and a doctor. Coroner.
A priest and a doctor.
He said for years he would love to fight him just because he's a fucking troll.
Yeah,
and he's not good for the sport at all.
No.
Now, Jake's obviously seeing a payout that he's gonna be able to spend while sucking his dinner through his straw for the rest of his life.
His wife's gonna come up behind him. Tell your story, baby. Mike hit me, and then he hit me here. Are you okay? I only can move my arms from the elbow. I can't do anything else.
He's gonna be like Stephen Hawking. Let me start the story. It was a stormy July.
Comedian? Who was the comedian? Damon Wayans.
It was in July.
Yeah. I'll make a joke about Mike Tyson because I know he's not going to hit me. That's a lawsuit. But if he did, how would I answer that question? Tell him your story. One time, Mike hit me
right here,
and my asshole fell out. That's how you know Robin Givens. That's how you know Robin Givens never got hit.
Ha 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 haha.
He's gonna do no offense to Jason Becker. I love that guy to death, but Jake Paul is gonna have to do things with his eyes to communicate like Jason Becker, who unfortunately was afflicted with ALS and was a fantastic guitar player, but he never got knocked out by Mike Tyson. Jake Paul is gonna need some fucking help. He should have went Logan's route and got into the choreographed world of professional wrestling. They could be tag team champions right now, but no, Jake has a death wish.
They could sell the shit out of that.
Jake has a death wish, and Logan is thinking, if I just went to WWE, I can make a couple mil here, couple mil there, and I'll be happy and healthy, and I won't have to, have my wife clean applesauce off my freaking chin after eating.
Yeah, I won't have to hire a diaper lady.
How old is Jake Paul, by the way? Does anybody know?
I have no idea.
But do you guys?
He's gonna be like Reagan in the later years as a young man.
Do you know where this fight came from? It was because this fight came because Jake was watching Tyson speak about him in a fight, and Tyson was respectful. All right,
like Christ.
Well, no, Tyson was like, I can see some changes in the kid and this and that, and basically the kid, what Jake did was like took it like it was real, like it's like it's TikTok, and he basically he thinks he's that good.
Will Smith is gonna sing the song.
What was the last fight he had? It was a crappy ranked boxer.
No, it was an MMA guy, like a really shitty MMA guy too.
Tommy Fury.
Yes, after the Fury fight,
it wasn't Tyson Fury. It was like his cousin Tommy.
No, yeah. It was
Tommy. That's what I said. It was Tommy Fury.
No, yeah. It was the Tommy Fury and Jake Paul fight. And Tyson was just commenting on it and saying, being nice. And it basically went to Jake's head, and he thinks he could take Tyson because Tyson's an old man.
Jake Paul is 27.
He's going to die at 28.
I was just going to say this motherfucker's not going to see 28.
No, he will.
Yeah, he will because he was born in January.
Right. So after Tyson obliterates the shit out of him, it's going to take a few months for all his organs to fail. And then in January of next year, when he turns 28 and his spleen falls out of his asshole and his lungs come out of his nose, kind of like what's going on with Herm right now, everything's going to go south for this kid. And if I'm Tyson...
Have you ever watched interviews with guys that fought Tyson?
Oh, yeah.
And they were all like, yeah. I knew we could punch hard. And I knew we could punch hard. And then he came out in the first round and he hit me.
What was the fight?
And I had to totally and they're like, I had to totally recalculate my game plan at that point.
Peter McNeely. When Peter McNeely fought Tyson, Peter McNeely was up and coming, and he was on the upward trajectory.
He said that
watch his eyes.
Hit him harder than any other human being has ever hit him on the planet.
When you watch Tyson hit him for the final time, it's like you watched his soul leave his body. And you just saw Peter McNeely fall into a crumpled mess. And he found out. He fucked around, and he found out. Spinks. Going in there with Holyfield, Spinks, who was the other one that he fought? That he
tried for 3.5 minutes to get off the ground.
Right?
Tyson had already given his acceptance remarks, and Spink was just getting up on a rope.
The one guy that got lucky because he actually studied was Buster Douglas.
Yeah.
Because he knew if you see Tyson do like this, he's going for the ribs. That's when you throw the headshot. What did he do? Tyson dropped his shoulder, went for the rib shot. Douglas went overhand right. Boom! Knockout. The biggest thing to hit Japan since Godzilla.
Gojira!
And it was all over. However, if Tyson hits you, you will know it. This is why Robin Givens is a liar. That woman would be speaking through some electronic cancer kazoo like, And this one time Mike hit me and it was fucking terrible.
Yeah, Circus Zoo. No, all my cripples are gonna be like Stephen Hawking.
Okay.
Mike
He's gonna-
Tyson was a
he's gonna
very
not-
nice man.
I want him to punch him in the throat so he has to use like, that fight wasn't bullshit. I want to fight him again.
No, I'm not making fun of you. You're making fun of me.
No, man, I'm not.
2 cheeseburgers and a large order of fries.
No problem. Pull up to the second window. Are you making fun of me? No, I'm not.
I'm not making fun of you.
It sounds like you're making fun of me.
And this is why, folks, we can't have nice things. There we go. He's got the shirt on today. And technically I started it, but Herm took it to a whole different level.
Oh man,
Oh,
that
man.
is all right.
I smell dinner.
And nice.
I just smell nothing. I'm still suffering. Hey, but you know what? Next week we'll have an actual topic. We'll have actual fun, and hopefully Matt Marsh will return.
Return of the Marsh. Return
of the Marsh.
Oh,
Tragedy. When you do a show and Matt don't go, it's tragedy. You guys can sing the title of the show. You can be involved in the tragedy game. Send your best tragedy lyric to our page or junctiondysfunctionshow@gmail.com. It's real simple. You just have to sing the Bee Gees Tragedy. Tragedy. When you're with the hoe and your dick don't grow, it's tragedy. Go ahead, Lynch.
This is why I'm not participating.
Because
I am easily non-participant.
you're terrible.
He's the Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
Say his
of the
name.
tragedy game.
Say my name, motherfucker.
Mama call him Clay. I'm a
I'm gonna call play.
I'm gonna call him Clay. By the way, before we go, congratulations posthumously to Muhammad Ali getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this April.
Really?
Dude,
WWE?
yes. Oh, he's been involved in WWE since the early 70s.
Good.
Watch,
Good for you, man.
go on YouTube and look up Gorilla Monsoon and Muhammad Ali. You'll have a good time.
It's good shit.
His whole shtick was basically Classy Freddie Blassie. And with that, we're out of here. We'll see you guys next week. And we won't talk about Barbie, I swear to God.
We swear to God.
There'll be no talk of Barbie on this podcast. You know, the one thing about Barbie that pisses me off is every single time that somebody talks about Barbie, I'm not allowed to talk about it because I made the edict that we can't talk about Barbie.
I bet she's got a
Or
nice
Vin Vincent.
You know, Barbie's problem is